Okay, we're starting with the nation. APC National Working Committee, Governors PCC members unite for Tinubu. Buhari promises to restore teachers' pride. How parties can substitute candidates by INEC. Otedola's Geregu becomes first power firm to list shares on Nigerian Stock Exchange. Lagos to riverine communities quit over flooding. 23 remaining Abuja Kaduna train abductees freed. 3 scientists win Nobel Prize in chemistry, and detractors of PDP will be disappointed, says IU. All right, let's start with which story?
Let me start with the warning from the Lagos government to the riverine communities. I think it's important we take this story because we talked about flooding the other day. Yeah. The Lagos state government have warned people to that their areas are going to be flooded. There is the high intensity of rain and of rainfall, and so the flooding, and then they are releasing the dams. So they should please vacate their areas, the areas on the Ogun, between Lagos, the Ogun State surroundings.
You don't want to mention the names of the places?
So they have told us to please, that it might be worsened by the waters from the Oyan Dam, River Basin Development Authority, which has increased the level of water of the lagoon. Okay. So please, if you're in that area, please don't. No, they added K2
Alakbere, Agri, Kowode, Oniri, Ajegunle, Alagbole. Yes, so Kara, that's why I said you don't want to be Sherry, Olowo Ra, Araromi.
So these are areas for potential flooding?
Yes. And October is going to be like the highest point of the rain.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah. That's my area right here.
Yeah.
Our area is there too.
Okay, let's take another story.
Yes, so the federal and state government yesterday marked the 28th edition of World Teachers' Day. And it was themed, "The Transformation of Education Begins with Teachers." The event is usually observed every 5th of October, and it was set aside in 1994 to appreciate teachers and the good work they are doing by UNESCO. So the president was represented by the vice president, Yemi Osinbajo, and he said that they are going to be restoring the teaching profession into its right place. They also said that they are going to, there's full implementation of the professional teaching and teacher qualification framework standards that will impact education outcome and teacher performance at the preschool, basic, secondary, and tertiary institutions. And they are working on that. The government also has started developing a verifiable database of teachers in Nigeria through the Teachers Registration Council, adding that agency has registered 2,108,342 teachers and licensed 1,250 teachers. Overall, the teachers were asking that their minimum wage be looked into. Some states were having conversations on how they can increase their teaching service to 65 years before they resign. What took majority of the discussion was more about teachers' welfare, how they can make life better for them.
Okay, so Hushpuppi. The United States government has urged the district court in Central California to sentence Nigerian Instagram fraudster Ramon Abbas, popularly known as Hushpuppi, to 11 years in prison, and that's about 135 months. According to the report, he'll be sentenced by Judge Otis Wright on November 7th, and that's the date has been fixed for the sentences. And if you recall, Hushpuppi is an international fraudster, Instagram fraudster, who was arrested in Dubai back in June 2020 over an extensive fraudulent scheme that robbed victims of their lifelong earnings in the US, Qatar, and the United Kingdom, and other places. Moving on now to The Punch. INEC governorship list, litigation kicks 14 APC, PDP, LP candidates out. Bandits release remaining 23 train hostages, families rejoice. Lagos church dog stray bites passerby to death. Ebola deadlier than COVID-19, heightened surveillance, warn virologists. Custom intercept ammunition, others worth of 600 million naira. Adamu governors meet to adjust Tinubu's campaign list. Teachers' Day, NUT seeks better deal and knocks governors. American-Danish scientists share 2022 Nobel Chemistry Prize. Okay, which story are we... Michael, did you take the
dogs.
The
train?
church.
Okay, let me take
I
the
took
train.
that one, but I'm sure Abule took the train as well.
It's a hot
I took
topic
it.
anyway. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. With any of them, I'll take him. I
Take
took
the train.
Ebola.
I'll take the...
I didn't take the train, I took Ebola.
Okay. I want to read. I didn't read it.
Go ahead.
Why-
Okay, start
So
with Ebola.
virologists and epidemiologists in the country are calling on the federal government to strengthen public health surveillance across border and post-service following the outbreak of the Sudan strain of Ebola virus disease in Uganda. We've taken that story all through last week, where they had found a particular strain and they are still trying as much as possible to ensure it doesn't spread and curtail it within the country. But the fear now is that it may extend Uganda to other parts of Africa. So the experts are calling for increased awareness and urging that flights from areas where the virus has been reported must be monitored. So a professor of medical virology at the College of Medicine, University of Lagos, Sunday Omilabu, has described this virus as deadlier than COVID-19. Now, according to him, the fatality rate of Ebola is about 80% compared to COVID-19, which he said is just about 2%. And he's, advising that we need to have information spread around the country. People need to see the signs, know the symptoms, know what to avoid, what not to do, so that we can curtail this. And, this is going to be in collaboration with the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. And we need to also check countries or citizens that are coming in from those red flag countries and just make sure we protect ourselves, because we may not be able to handle it. There are no vaccines for Ebola.
We need to remember Dr. Adadevo, because she saved Nigeria.
Yeah.
And then the Fashola was governor then. He acted very promptly. So I hope it doesn't come into Nigeria again. Anyway, can I talk about the 2 German shepherds?
Yes, so please.
Who, they're from a Catholic church. There was 11:30 p.m. The guy was walking past their gates. They came out and they attacked him, beat him, and he was rushed to the hospital. They beat him in different parts of his body. He was rushed to the hospital, but he died. They now took the dogs. Someone has now taken the dogs away so that they can't...
For whatever reason.
For whatever reason. I don't even know the reason.
Who took? Somebody just took.
Yeah, the dogs are missing.
The dogs are missing.
Yeah.
So they are complaining that these dogs, they should even be tested for rabies.
Yeah.
Why are they biting people?
They are stray dogs.
They should be...
Stray dogs. I think
they are
churches.
stray.
I think it's dog. Lagos church dog.
They are calling them stray dogs, but they belong to the church.
Yeah.
So they need to
Okay, let's go on
bring
a
out the
quick break.
dogs,
When we come back, we continue
test
with
them for rabies.
continue our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. I was going to take a story. Customs. Customs were giving us a report yesterday. It was by the acting customs area controller in charge of Federal Operations Unit, Hussein Ajibunu, was addressing journalists and was talking about the fact that they had intercepted ammunitions worth 622 million back all in September. In addition to that, they also recovered 107 million worth of other confiscated products. They had bills and clothing abandoned on completed buildings. He said they also intercepted a large cache of premium motor spirits concealed inside sacks in the Badagry. Actually, I think we took that story when it happened. And also in September, they had those seizures of massive bills of 1,955 clothing abandoned in the Lagos Trade Fair area. They also had so many, just giving reports, bags of rice concealing all sorts of contrabands. So they bring in these things with the rice, frozen poultry, 37 crates of eggs, everything that you're not supposed to import. They're bringing them. I mean, how do you import eggs? How do you import? I mean, poultry, I thought they had been banned. Many people they're still smuggling these things. So Customs is saying that, obviously, they're just giving a recap of what they've done in September. But it's important to remind Nigerians that we are the ones hurting ourselves. If you import poultry, you're importing rice. The idea is that we want to grow our own economy. So when we keep doing these things and we seem not to understand the fact that we need to stop.
Ourselves.
We're shortchanging ourselves completely. Okay, let's move on quickly now to the Daily Sun. APC Governor's National Working Committee meeting deadlocked amid Adamu's warning. 2023 INEC to deploy undercover security agents at polling units. Court hears ASU's appeal seeking stay of execution today. $40 Geregu Power PLC becomes first park company to list the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Presidency denies arrest, intimidation of Obi supporters, vows to arrest lawbreakers. 2023 poll, I won't vote for Muslim ticket, says Onayekon. And 2023 budget, Senate opposes 1.7 trillion naira subsidy recommendation. Okay, which story are we starting with?
So the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, tweeted in his Twitter handle saying that an election cannot be adjudged credible if there's intimidation. And he went ahead to describe as extremely disturbing reports of the arrest and intimidation of his supporters. However, the presidency and a close source who did not want to be named said that accusations made earlier on Wednesday on Peter Obi's social media page that some of his supporters, known as Obedient, have been silently arrested without foundation, that nothing like that is happening. It says that both the Nigerian police force, the DSS have officially confirmed that there's no arrest whatsoever. Whether it's a silent arrest, is an open arrest that is made, none has been made concerning supporters. And that the democratic process in Nigeria is free and fair for all candidates, whether they are from established political parties or not. That if anyone carries out a criminal act, that person will be handled as a citizen who is a criminal. If in course of the campaign you damage properties, government properties, individual properties, you will be treated in that regard, not because you belong to any political party or not. Okay, any other story, YK, in Daily Sun?
No, that's the story I read, actually.
You didn't tell me.
Sorry.
It's okay. I was going to take a story, I was going to take the story on INEC, but let's move on. I'll take that later. Vanguard APC will determine when to flag off campaign, says Adamu. Okowa Oshomole clash over poll violence allegation. Anambra, 70-year-old found dead in his flooded bedroom. Insecurity blame Okada riders for rising crime, says Ondo and Amotekun boss. Appeal court task federal government asked to resolve dispute out of court. Terrorists released 23 remaining Abuja Kaduna train attack victims. And Catholic Church yet to decide on APC's same faith ticket. All right, which story? Let me take Cardinal Onayekon. He was speaking yesterday concerning the meeting in Abuja, and he was saying that, I'm trying to get his quote here. So the Bishop of Catholic priest and former president of CAN, John Cardinal Onayekon, declared that the ruling party, that's the APC, their same faith ticket was their opinion, was a political opinion and best option for them. He addressed reporters at the meeting we had with the chairman of APC, Adamu, and he says that they've resolved to forge ahead in harmony. So obviously there was a meeting to find a way to reconcile the CAN and other Catholic bishops who had their issues, who had expressed their displeasure with the Muslim ticket. But he's been able to understand that it was a decision that the APC had to take. Furthermore, he also said that he wouldn't be voting, that he's yet to decide on which party he is going to be voting for in the coming elections.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the septuagenarian that died in his room. His name was Mr. Sunday Mesiobi in Anambra State. He went to bed. In the morning, they didn't see him, so they were calling his name. So I think they went into the room. They found his cloth floating on the body, and when they lifted it, they found his lifeless body there. So it's like he drowned. So they're just using that opportunity to say, look, if your house is flooded, please don't sleep there. Yeah. Go and look for a place to stay. That this has gone beyond asking people to converge in a particular location, that people need to do a more community-based approach so that, lives are saved.
Yeah, so painful. And I think he finished evacuating his family before he now slept. So painful.
Let me take the INEC story, because I was, so INEC has said that they will be having undercover agents and security agents at the polling units across the country. This was said by the spokesperson, Mr. Let me get his name, Festus Okoye. He's the Voter Education Committee Commission Chair. And he was saying that also they wouldn't allow phones. I'm not sure why that is, but said that he announced that the resolution of the electoral umpire to ban the usage of mobile phones during voting to take pictures or compromise the process. Even when they have plainclothes security detectives, they'll be hired to check. So I'm not sure how that would work. But Oke also assured that the adult staff have been properly trained on how to configure and position voting cubicles to guarantee the safety and the secrecy of votes people. So, I mean, it's important for us to have a very free and fair election coming, and I'm hoping, and I know that INEC is obviously doing everything they can to ensure that
when you say that you don't want phones, is it that when you enter the cubicle, you can't carry your phone? I can hear that one. But when I'm on the queue waiting, I can't carry my phone.
But there are places you don't, when you go to the embassy, you're not allowed to carry phone now.
I say it's disgusting, yeah.
That's why I say if you enter the cubicle, I can understand that.
No
but
phones, no wristwatches, no. Some things just have to fly. So Kogi State yesterday sealed Dangote Cement Factory, Obajana, following an agitation by Kogi indigenes on the questionable circumstances surrounding the acquisition of the company. So the Kogi State House of Assembly ordered the closure of the company after they investigated the cement factory's operation, and allegedly there is no valid acquisition that took place between the company. So according to the story, they said about that's the management of Dangote saying that they had 7 of their staff shot when this happened. Several others were injured by over 500 armed members of the state security outfit, the vigilantes that stormed the cement factory, and they came on the order of the governor, that's Yahaya Bello. But the CDCs are saying that they did not release their youths to do any of that because they cannot even support the government against Dangote. That Dangote has been the one who has been helping the community with the electricity, roads, and every other thing. So there is no way that their youths were involved in what happened to Dangote's factory. And the state is saying that the House of Assembly had called him to show up and explain with his documents how he acquired that particular factory, and he's been giving one excuse or the other till they had to lock up the whole place.
Okay, let's move on quickly now to the Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story of not taking. Campaign Council urged APC governors, PDP National Working Committee to appeal court judgment on Ogun chapter. Oyetola appeals court ruling nullifying his candidacy for Osun election. 15 arrested, government imposes dusk to dawn curfew over anti-EFCC protests in Ughelli. I can't believe how that thing has exploded. World Teachers Day, FG governors announce special reward for teachers, and the appeal court panel asked federal government and asked to settle dispute out of court. Which story? What's going on in Ughelli?
Yeah, that's the story we took yesterday. Now those Ughelli, those Yahoo boys, Ughelli, those Yahoo boys who were arrested. I think about I can't remember the number. Is it 95 or 75 of them? And we had their girlfriends and some of their friends come out to, protest. They had placards on that they should release their boys. We took the story yesterday. However, the police has waded in and they said they had arrested 15 people in connection to the protest, because the protest now snowballed into something else. So probably after we saw those videos, they now went in and started damaging and destroying. You know how protests in the country and here, how it degenerates into something else. So the police has also ensured that there's curfew in the town. Nobody should be seen at a particular, they didn't mention the time here, particular time, to see how they can, just settle the whole thing in Ughelli. Ughelli is in Delta State.
Okay, yesterday was World Teachers Day, and obviously federal government and others announced various rewards for teachers. And I think in Lagos State also awarded teachers. Yeah. Did you send any gifts for your teachers? Yesterday?
I can send later. I didn't remember. I had a very busy day yesterday.
Yeah, I sent gifts.
I was counting products in the house.
But there's
always time to
we had school debates, so...
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So, but we didn't take it in the punch, but I think we should just at least mention it, that the bandits, they released the remaining...
Yeah, it's our hot topic.
So it's our hot topic.
Let's we'll talk about it. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we move on to our hot topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.